Hollywood Reporter, Sony Pictures and Marvel Studios are getting close to picking their new Spider-Man and are currently doing final screen tests in Atlanta for the role. They claim the final group includes Asa Butterfield, Hugo, Ender's Game, Tom Holland, The Impossible, Judah Lewis, a relative newbie who will be seen in Jean Marc-Vallee's fall drama Demolition, Matthew Lintz, who will be seen with Adam Sandler in this summer's Pixels, Charlie Plummer, who had a reoccurring gig on Boardwalk Empire, and Charlie Rowe, a British actor who appeared on Fox's short-lived Red Band Society. John, thoughts on the search for the new Spider-Man?
Well, I mean, the first thing we should point out here is, actually, Des, can we bring that image back up for a second? Doesn't it look like they're just getting ready for nap time? I mean, wow, man, these kids look young. But look, no, some people hear me say sometimes, man, Asa Butterfield's so young, as if that's me saying he's not a good actor. He's an incredibly gifted young actor, and I'm cool with him being Spider-Man. Totally would be if it ends up being him. A couple things stand out to me about this story. Number one, I still believe they've already cast Spider-Man. I really do. I think Hollywood Reporter is being misinformed. But let's go with the safer assumption, the much safer assumption here that the Hollywood Reporter is right and I am completely wrong. Much safer assumption. But let's go with that for a second. If they still have, if Amy Pascal and the guys at Sony and the guys at Marvel and all that, if they still have not picked their Spider-Man, here's the intriguing thing to me. Here's what I think is absolutely jumps out the most. They started shooting Captain America Winter Soldier a month ago. A month ago. That movie's already been shooting for a month, and they still don't have Spider-Man. What this suggests to me, it's not a lock, but I think what it suggests to me is that the people who are saying that Spider-Man is actually going to be quite a small role in Captain America Civil War were probably right. Now, I'd been hearing it was going to be quite a major role. That's what I had been hearing. But if this is true and the Hollywood Reporter is right, and they're a month into filming and they don't even expect to pick who the next Spider-Man is going to be until next week, how major of a role could it be, really? So anyway, those are the things that stand out to me. As far as the names go, look, I don't care about who's famous. I don't care about who's popular. Get talented people. These guys are talented guys. And whoever they pick, I'm sure is going to be great for the role, so I'm happy about that. It's just, I'm more curious about what this means for Captain America Civil War. Anyway, Schnepp, you saw this list. What stands out to you?
I think they already picked Spider-Man. I think it's Butterfield. I think, they're already shooting him. I think what they're doing now is they're casting Norman Osborn. They're casting his friend. And that's what if they're going to have a scene with Spider-Man, he's in high school. He might be hanging out with some of his future villains, and I think that's my theory. And I think whoever they go with, I'm excited about it because it'll be a brand new Spider-Man and one that we haven't really. We saw Toby and also we saw them in high school for a minute, but none of us really believed that they were in high school. This you'll believe they're actually in high school because they look like they're in high school. So they're the ages they should be to be in high school, maybe a year older. So. I think, and he's not going to have a big role in Captain America, nor should he. I think what they did and how they're bringing in Black Panther and making him the center point, I think that makes a lot of sense. And he's going to be the dividing line between what's going on with Captain America and what's going on with Iron Man's camps. So that makes sense to me. And then Spider-Man can swing in and have a couple of scenes or something. So.
Christian.
Yeah, that's where I was going to go with it as far as Black Panther. I think because they made such a big ordeal of having him come in and the way that they announced him at that Marvel thing that we were at. I know that there was rumors that there was a script with Black Panther in that lead and then there was Spider-Man, but I think it makes sense. You bring on a talent like Boseman and you feature him, and then you have whoever they do cast for Spider-Man, you have him come in, have a big scene with him for sure, and have him make an impact and help out the dudes at the end in the Civil War. But that spins off into the standalone. So, but as far as the overall casting of who they're going into, I agree with you guys that I think that Butterfield's already probably the guy locking. I don't know if it's a ruse of what they're trying to do here by throwing all these other names in there, or if you said maybe that this particular trade was just misinformed. But I love where they're going as far as age because I really want to see a kid of that age standing next to and cracking jokes with Tony Stark. Right. That to me, that dynamic, he's never dealt with.
I want to see him next to Hulk.
Oh, that's right.
I want to see him next to Hulk.
He jumps on Hulk's shoulders at one point. I mean, you can see all this really cool stuff, and you have so much more because they're going to lock whoever it is into a big deal. So you're going to see this kid from, let's say he's 16, 17 now. We're going to see him as Spider-Man until he's about 27 to /30 years old. So.
Well, remember, that's the thing. Look, if it were up to me and all that kind of stuff, would I have cast probably a 23-year-old actress? Yes, if it was up to me. But what I like about this age and them going for somebody this young, we've said this before, is that exactly what you were just pointing out. you set yourself up with the potential for longevity. You get an Asa Butterfield in there right now, sign him to a 10-film deal, whatever. He can be your Spider-Man literally for the next 10, 15 years. He could be the next Hugh Jackman, who, you know, defined his own role and that role became his. He could do that for this, provided the movies go well and all that kind of stuff works, right? And going to the Black Panther stuff, you know, when it became announced that Sony and Marvel had finally made this deal, I always still felt that, look, they made a big deal about Boseman and Black Panther. I think they know what their movie's going to be. They're going to stick with it. But there certainly was the possibility that could have been some mystery second script. But if you think about it, who needs a bigger push going into their new standalone films? Does Black Panther need the bigger push? Or does Spider-Man need the bigger push? Spider-Man don't need a push. Black Panther does. And so it makes a lot of sense to make him a key character in Civil War.
Yeah, I agree.
And a cameo. Like, because, I mean, because if Black Panther has a cameo, you go, it's people who don't know, like, who's that guy? But as opposed to Spider-Man making a cameo, like, whoa, oh, wait, that's the new Spider-Man? Give me more.
Yeah, Spider-Man shows up for one scene. It becomes a buzz point in the movie, right? I'm sure it'll be a bigger role than one scene, though.
And they could still shoot a little thing, a stinger for the end of Ant-Man. Because there's still a month and a half to go.
True.
Although they better get moving if they haven't
But
even cast it yet.
they could always, if they wanted to, they could always shoot somebody in a costume for a post-credit scene or something for Ant-Man.
You know what they could do? You're right. They don't need much time because even the screen could go dark and just have a head pop up going, "Hi, I'm Spider-Man," and that's it. And everybody will lose their minds.
That's right.